Welcome everybody, this is Mike Hamilton from Trade the Easy Way, and looking at the daily chart on the left, weekly chart on the right. This is the S&Ps. So you can see here we are just grappling with the May 26 highs. Breached them in early June, dipped right back here in mid-June. Here we are coming to the last week of June, just grappling with this. If we close above this 7,500, then we are going to 78.55 over time. Typically this time of year we would flatten out, so I wouldn't be at all surprised to see this dropping back to 7,200, maybe even deeper. But like I said, if we can hold this today, or at least in the early part of this week, with US GDP growth data on Thursday, we might see some deeper moves as we head into that, and then if we pop back up after Thursday, then we are good for high numbers. So let's just be very quick. We've got gold here trying to hold on this support. If I take this off, you will see we had a big buy bar on the 11th of June. All we're doing is dipping back into this buy bar. If you look at the weekly chart, we've got huge support on this 40.50. So I think this is, if we start to get above 4200, I think we could pick up from here. But there's a huge amount of resistance under all the averages. So at the moment, this is bearish and looking like if we come back up to 4,300 and fail, this could really start to drop. You can see how we broke down here in mid-May, did another breakdown early June, but we've actually got significant volume today, so if we get above 42.20, then I think this will pick up. To me, the weekly chart suggests that we are going to hold here, at least attempt to see 4,700, 5,000, but the jury is out, so let's see how that works out. Oil is weak and looking weaker. We've got a gap fill down there at 67.80, so we're getting close to that. So any pullbacks 75, 76 to be sold into, to see if we can go and fill that gap at 68 and under 68. That bodes well for the markets. If that is going to hold, then that would suggest we could see some upward swing in the markets. Dollar. So dollar's broken up, and so this is a warning signal. If this really starts to break up, push through this area here, literally where we are now, and close higher from here, then we could at least retrace some of this loss back into 104. If we look at the pound after today's UK news, so the market already priced in this leadership re-election. So we saw a series of lower highs, broke down here last Wednesday, just ahead of the by-election. So I think any pullback to 133.50 is to be sold into to come and retest 130. May not even get up there, but at the underside of this trend line here and fail, reconnect with the averages up there at 134, or maybe a little lower, 133.50, and this could really tumble, which could provide problems for the US if that picks up. Right, wheat trying to hold here. Came in contact with the 200 daily average. Here we are just tying the 50 and the 20 average in knots. Two big decent weekly bars here, so I think this could pick up into the summer and the autumn, which is typical for that cycle. Let's look at the UK before we move on. UK FTSE, good day. Came right into a key level of support down there at 10300. Picked up. So markets don't really care about elections a lot of the time. It's just the key levels we're looking at. So if whichever way we come out of that apex, we're right at the top of the apex at the moment, gives us the direction into the summer, and who knows, maybe even beyond. So if we start falling back here and dropping under 10,300, then watch out. This could really pop out the bottom of this and go right back to 96.75. If that starts to close above 10.5, then we are going back to the highs potentially. Let's start looking at some stocks. I'm underwater somewhat with this camel. Central Asian metals. Bought this at 148 or 132. Weekly, not pretty. We break this low and we're going to see 125 and maybe even lower. Volumes are looking better, so I'm optimistic. I think if we can get above 130, 140 in the next 24, 48 hours, then I think that could break up. If we go under 125, then I will get out and stay out for short term. That is on Central Asian metals. We've not looked at gold. Sorry, just go back to gold. I know we did talk about gold, sorry. Right, Shawbrook. This is round about my entry point. Got in a little bit too high in hindsight. We've seen 285, 290 on this. Weekly, we're trying to build here. So we ultimately got to get above 350, 340, 350, and then we can start to motor. But crack these lows, and this is coming lower. Could potentially come all the way down to 225 or lower. So be warned on Shawbrook. Looks all right, but be warned. Let's have a look at this one. Metals 1 is trying to hold up, so I'm getting more and more interested in this. When this was down here at 1.2, 1.3, this is a penny stock. I was tempted to buy, but I thought I'd just wait and get more confirmation. I think the weekly is perking up. Some of this has been as high as 55. They've got a portfolio of miners. So if the metals pick up, that could be good. Diageo, we've seen 1625, but it's pulled right back to 1477. Looks higher at this stage. Next we have, what am I going to look at? Let me get to my other list a minute. Bear with me. Okay, so what's on the list? Let's go through commodity related. So Rio, putting back to 75. So if we close above 75.70, that's potentially going to work its way down up to 90 up there, if that can start closing higher. Let's look at banks. Lloyd's, very nice move. Talked about this about 95, 96. That's 110, looks higher. Let's have a look at RBS. Similar story. So that could bode well for Shawbrook. CTech is another one I'm in. I think I bought 198. Yeah, 198 is my entry point. 207. Looks like we can go see 215 plus at this stage. BMNR, so it's flicking around. This is the US stock, which is in Ethereum. Looks ugly, really struggling. And moving on. So service net now had a move, swung right up there to 136. Keep a close eye on this. This is basically the breakup area from the 15th of May. So I'm going to stay away from this and wait and see if we start to see this pick up from down here. Let's get rid of that. Let's put a pink support line down there. So 84.80. If we go down to 84.80 in now, US stock, and hold, I'm in. Rolls-Royce picking up. All right, other ones I'm looking at. Right, here's some new ones. Let's look at Wix Group. Right, keep a very close eye on this one. I'm look like the look of this one. So we close above 180 on Wix. I'm in. So I'm going to be patient. I want this to close above 180, and I think we can get back to 208 plus. Liking Wix. And this one. That's right, we clicked on the wrong one. Looking for the UK stock, here we are. Right. Not in the least bit interested in this one at the moment. Oh, we just gap filled. Look, we gapped up on 14th of August last year from 40 into 60. So I am going to get interested in this one if... All right, so the gap fill is here. We come in and fill that gap and start to see some volume and hold, then I'm interested in Oxford metrics. Quick look around other areas. Avon is looking all right. What other ones on my list? Let's have a look. So I'll look at Chemring and then I'll go. I would love to see this down at 450 on Chemring. All right, my voice is going, so I'm going to leave it there. Hope that helps. See you at the next update.